Welcome back to the Weekly Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Owen McCullough, with the Ryan Mallett to my Tom Brady. Christian Tabor, how are you doing?
I don't know why you do these things. I'm fine.
Of course you're fine. Over Mr. College.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're in the middle of nowhere, as in AKA like 45 minutes down the road.
Yep. It's good though.
Mr. Recording Engineer Software Person Shit Dickhead.
That's exactly what my major is. Ignore that. I'm playing with scissors, and you probably shouldn't play with scissors, but
No.
that's exactly what I'm doing.
You're annoying. So
Okay.
this week is our second part to our division breakdown preview, whatever you want to call it, for the NFL. Last week we did the NFC North and East. This week we're doing the NFC South and West. All of this is going to build up to next week's a big episode with 3 of the AFC divisions, and then our final episode we're going to have a special guest on to do the AFC East as one episode by itself. So I'm excited for that one. But let's just jump right into it. We're going to start off with the NFC South, which we're going to go from where they placed in the division last year, and I'm pretty sure the New Orleans Saints were the first in the division.
Didn't we go worst to first last time?
Did we go worst to first? Let's go worst to first.
We did go worst to first.
Let's go worst to first. So it's the...
So the Ron Rivera... Oh, wait.
Wait. Is it the Panthers were worse than the Falcons?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes, you did this last time when we messed it up. Panthers were worse.
We tried recording this one time before, and someone by the name of whose name rhymes with Piston Tabor forgot to hit the record.
It was not me.
It totally wasn't me.
I'm not the one who records these. It's you. Don't even put this on me.
Shh, we were in the same room at that time.
Okay, but you're the one who works the stuff. I don't know that.
Shut up. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through just like last week. If you did see that, because you should see that, go watch it. I will find you. We're gonna break down the depth chart and just talk about how we feel about these teams going into that season. So first off, we got wide receivers here. I totally forgot everything we talked about the last time we did this division, so this is basically brand new. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Curtis Samuel. Backups of note: Seth Roberts from Baltimore, Farrell Cooper, basically a return specialist. That's about it. Opinions, thoughts, concerns. Definitely probably the worst in division, right?
Yeah, but I still like it. I like DJ Moore. I think Robbie Anderson can be pretty good. I hope that he steps it up and improves this season. Because I feel like he could be a good big body.
I mean, it's funny that this is the worst receiving core in the division because it just happens there in the division with Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So, I mean,
yeah,
take it with a grain of salt that they're the worst receiving core in the league. Or in the division, not league. Division.
I was about to say league, huh?
No, that's definitely the Jets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll get to them. We'll get to them. Offensive line, Russell Okung, John Miller, former Buffalo Bill, Matt Paradis, Dennis Daly, and Taylor Moton. Greg Little's a backup.
3 Tylers.
Three Tylers?
Oh, wait, no, it's the same guy. He's just backup for 3 different positions. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, they got. I mean, it's not a great offensive line. I don't like that they traded Trey Turner for Russell Okung because I think Trey Turner is a better player. But I mean, Okung plays a better position, so it's kind of like a weird trade-off. But I like John Miller and I like Matt Paradis, so they got those 2 guys.
Yeah.
You only really need 2 good offensive linemen, right, to be good. Totally.
Sure. Now, when a defense has 3 decent pass rushers, they rush 5 and 3 of them are decent, and one of them is named. I was gonna say Jamal Adams, but do they play the Jets?
Jamal Adams and the Seahawks.
Jets. Do they play the Seahawks? I'm still not used to it.
I don't know. I do know is that their division has a Cameron Jordan, and their division has a Vic Beasley Jr.
Yeah.
Or no, he's on the Titans now, isn't he?
Internet.
Google, save us. While he's continuing that, I'm going to go to tight ends. Ian Thomas, who was a rookie out of Indiana last year, did pretty decent. They don't have G-Reg on their team anymore. I know you definitely wanted me to play that song again.
No.
Really, Ian Thomas is the only like real decent
Titans.
tight end. He is on Titans. Okay. But yeah, Ian Thomas is the only real weapon tight end wise. Nothing really standing out in there. Running backs: Christian McCaffrey, backup Reggie Bonifon, Jordan Scarlett, and Mike Davis. So Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey. Oh, that's another thing you have to think about when you're talking about the receiving core. Is they have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Christian white boy slot receiver McCaffrey.
Christian, best running back in the league, McCaffrey?
I'd say so. Actually, to be honest, it's either him or Saquon. I don't think there's any. And then there's like a tier. It's like tier levels. The top two are Saquon, McCaffrey, and then it's like tier jump, and then you can.
Unless you go into Instagram and it's just a huge debate between Zeke and Saquon, because that's a thing.
No, your modern day running back needs to catch. Now quarterback here. We got Teddy Trolls live under the Bridgewater. Will Greer, PJ Walker. So I mean, PJ Walker is noted as your is a third stringer right there. So your whole PJ Walker as a top 15 quarterback next year.
I don't care.
Is kind of he has to beat Will Greer first.
Good, he will.
Going to defense, we have Stephen Weatherly at D end, but Yetur Gross-Matos is his backup. Derek Brown, Kawan Short, so that's a pretty good D line. Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, Tahir Whitehead, and Marquise Haynes at linebacker. That's pretty good too. Don't see anything really bad about that. Dante Jackson, Jeremy Chin, Trey Boston, and Eli Apple. And Corn Elder is a notable backup. Troy Pride Jr. from Notre Dame is a backup rookie corner. Their secondary is probably the weakest part of their.
Yeah.
Only because they have a rookie at safety and Jeremy Chin. Trey Boston gets hurt a lot, and Eli Apple. Just Eli Apple. But
that guy.
They got decent enough depth. I like it a little bit. I want to talk about special teams only because have you been seeing the videos that have been going around of their punter?
No, I haven't.
He took a punt and it went like 5 yards straight forward. It went 5 yards forward, but then it like went so far out. He kicked it out of their training facility, like over the wall of the training facility into like some trees. Everyone's like, "Well, he's cut." He's been.
And it was. Wait. Oh, like it wasn't like it. It was wide right, but like it was wide right was.
Yeah, it was wide left, but like 20 yards wide left, and only went forward like 3 yards.
How do you do that?
His name is I don't know. His name is Joseph Charlton. He's a rookie, and then Joey Sly is their kicker, and then that's really it.
Even when I mess up like punts, I've never done that.
You're a decent punter too, is the thing. You could probably go try out for the Carolina Panthers punting job and win it at this point.
Yeah, I don't when I average 40 yards. I think they're gonna want a little more than that.
Well, at least it's not 5.
Okay, well, yeah.
Well, that's the Carolina Panthers. I like Matt Rule, but the rule of thumb.
That was terrible. Never say that again.
Shut up. Is that when he turns teams around like he did with Temple and he did with Baylor, but it takes 1 year of sucking before they get good. They suck for a year, but then they're amazing the next year. Like Temple, they were like 1-11, and the next year they were like 12-2. And then Baylor, they were like 3-10 or something like that, or 3-9, and then the next year they were like 10-4. So it always is a 2-year process with Matt Rule. So Panthers fans, I love the team. I love your head coach. I'm a big fan of the head coach. Don't get excited for the season.
Just wait a year.
Just wait. Just give him a year. Let him get a quarterback he wants, like a Trevor Lawrence, and then we can get the hype train going. Next is the Falcons. To be honest, the Falcons probably are better talent-wise on offense. Maybe not on defense, but I can see Carolina finishing above them in the division. I like their coach better. I know that for a fact. Receivers: Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Laquan Treadwell. That's about it. They got 3 receivers. But fucking...
But one's Julio.
Yeah, one's Julio and one's Calvin Ridley. So, I mean... They have, like, 2 number 1 receivers out of the 3 they have. I mean, they got some guys. I know, like, Olamide Zaccheaus. He's decent. When I play Madden, like Madden franchise mode, he becomes decent. But, like, that's the only reason why I know his name.
They also have a good tight end in Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, they do have Hayden Hurst, Kari Lee.
And Jalen Graham is...
They have, that's the wrong Graham.
Well, yeah, I'm aware what Graham it is.
But I'm more excited about Jared Pinkney from Pinkney out of Vanderbilt. I think that's where he came from. He's a rookie. He was supposed to be really good. He fell a little bit in the draft, so I'm excited for him. I think he'll probably be their number 2 tight end come this season, maybe next season. Offensive line: Jake Matthews, James Carpenter, Alex Mack, Chris Lidstrom, Caleb McCary. Matt Hennessy they drafted at center. And shout out to UB alum Evan Kijarczyk, whatever his last name is. Something Polish. He's an undrafted free agent out of UB. He's currently solid as their backup right tackle. So, I mean... I know the guy we interviewed, Nick, he knew him, and he talked about him going on to Atlanta. So, good luck to him. But that offensive line is pretty good, I'd say. I like everything but their center, they have... their center is Alex Mack. I like everything but James Carpenter, because it's James Carpenter. Couldn't even be on the Jets. But Matt Hennessy could probably come in and play right guard for him instead. So I'm probably liking that offensive line there a little bit. Quarterbacks, Matt Ryan. Matt Schaub put up like 400 yards last year when he came in for his 1 start.
Yeah,
so, I mean...
He did.
That just shows how good of a quarterback you need to be for the system to run. But I mean, it's Matt Ryan's team. It's Matt Ryan's team, no matter what.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley, Brian Hill, Quadri Olson from Buffalo. Came from Buffalo, went to school at Canisius. Ito Smith are their running backs. They have 10 first-rounders starting on their offense. I think, I don't know who the only first-rounder isn't, but I know there was a thing where like they have all first-round talent on their offense besides like one position. Which, I mean...
Which one?
How do you end up with a bunch of first round? Like Todd Gurley was let go, obviously, but I don't know how I trust. I trust his knee. I don't know. I definitely won't be drafting him in fantasy, but I mean, maybe like if it's like a 10th round pick, maybe that's even too soon. I don't trust his knee at all.
I just want to know which one isn't the first rounder.
I think it's a lineman. I think it's one of the linemen because I know Julio was, Calvin Ridley was, Matt Ryan was, Todd Gurley was. Caleb McGarry.
Yeah, Hennessy was round 3.
Oh, okay. Because Caleb McGarry, Chris Lidstrom, Alex Mack, and Jake Matthews I know were all first rounders. So it had to have been someone on the line. Going back over to the defense, Alan Bailey, Tyler Davison, Grady Jarrett, and Tack McKinley are all our D linemen, as well as Marlon Davidson as a backup. And yeah, that's pretty terrible. Grady Jarrett needs to leave. He needs to get out of there. He needs to find a team that will actually put guys next to him that are good defensive linemen because I don't know what the hell this is. Tack McKinley, bust. Alan Bailey and Tyler Davison. I never heard of them before in my life, and I know a lot of players. So, I mean, if you're starting and I have no idea who the hell you are, it's a little... Marlon Davidson was decent at Auburn. So, I mean, maybe he could slot in starting, but linebacker... Oh, I'm sorry, and they have technically, it says they have 5 down linemen on this one I'm looking at, ourlads.com. Dante Fowler Jr. they also have, who was good on the Rams a little bit. He'll probably play, like, the end, if not, like, a rushing... They're probably run, like, a 3-4 with him as, like, a rushing linebacker. Actual linebackers, Foyesade, Olakun, Deion Jones... They have Deonte Buchanan. That's about it. So, I mean, their linebackers aren't terrible. Deonte Buchanan is like an oversized safety, and Deion Jones is Deion Jones, but, I mean, he can't stay healthy. So, sure. This defense leaves a lot to a lot to be desired in the front seven so far. AJ Terrell, way overdrafted first rounder. Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Isaiah Oliver. It's a good.
That's how you say it.
What?
Oh no, that's Indonesian.
What do you?
Foyasad.
Okay, we'll go with it. But their secondary is decent enough, I guess. But they definitely have probably the worst defense in the division. Carolina's is way better. Carolina's is way better than this. This is kind of tragic. Yeah, I could see Carolina if the offense doesn't click and like Todd Gurley stays getting hurt. I think Carolina could finish above them in the division. Honestly,
I have a chance. I could see that happening, but they do have my boy Young-Ho Koo. Young-Ho Koo.
You do like your young hoes.
Okay. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah, a kicker is gonna mean so much the difference in finishing in the division.
Listen, it's Young-Ho Koo.
You're right. I can't.
It's like like the Colts. They had a Pat McAfee.
Jeez, I've
never nowhere near comparable to
I've
Young-Ho
never
Koo.
heard Young-Ho Koo talk. McAfee was doing stand-up while he was playing in the NFL. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, our new favorite team. Yay, Tom Brady's here.
Stop.
You can't point a gun at me this time because you're not here.
I can continue to watch this video of Isaiah Hodgins mossing the Bills defenders because I enjoy that a lot better than Tampa Bay. So,
well, let's talk about.
I have that as emotional support.
I hate you. Let's talk about the new Super Bowl the preseason Super Bowl champions. We got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans at wide receivers, starting outside receivers. Then they drafted Tyler Johnson, who fell because of character concerns. So he's pretty good. Who else? I mean, I hate saying there's like no one else because like when we look at like the Bills depth chart, we like be like, oh, we have this guy. They're decent depth, but like I don't know depth wide receivers on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster. I am sorry, that is out of my range.
ESPN has Scotty Miller as their third.
Is he the slot? I've heard him before, but I think he's just
5'11". He's a little white boy.
Yeah, so he's definitely the slot receiver. Well, I mean, both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin can work out the slot too, so it's meh.
You also probably don't recognize him because he had a total of 13 receptions and 200 yards for a touchdown last season.
Oh, probably. Yeah, Tyler Johnson is probably gonna be the third starter on that wide receiver. And they're probably gonna go a lot of double tight end because their tight ends are OJ Howard and Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Brate. Yeah. So they're literally like they have 3 starting tight ends when you only need like 2. So that's great. But so I like the tight end group. Offensive line, we got Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, Alex Kappa, and Tristan Wirfs, the rookie for at right tackle. And, I mean, their depth is bunch of depth O-linemen you won't really see starting anywhere. But, like, I mean, like, Joe Haig is okay. Like, he could be a pinch starter. But then you got LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy at running back with Ronald Jones, absolute bust of a second-round pick. Ronald Jones and Keyshawn Vaughn.
ESPN has Ronald Jones as the starter.
Over LaShawn?
They do.
That's curious. I don't know why that would be. All right, where would we leave off? Quarterback. Yeah, we're talking about the quarterbacks now. Yay! We get to talk about Tom Brady.
Ryan Griffin. Yeah.
Blaine Gabbert.
Jameis Winston. Oh. Are they really
Tom Brady. We're not talking about him. I hope he falls off a cliff skill-wise.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had too much suffering in my life watching football because of that, man.
It's a personal vendetta against him, but I'm just going to let you live out. Tom Brady, yeah, he's good. Defense, Sue and Vita Vea.
Yay!
Yeah.
William Golston, rounds out the ends. I mean, they have Khalil Davis. Oh yeah, they have JPP. I have him listed as linebacker right here on mine. JPP, Devin White, Levante David, and Shaquille Barrett are their linebackers on mine, according to our lads.
And they have him as a weak side linebacker on here, so yeah.
Yeah, they run a 3-4, which means either of them could be rushing the passer or dropping back into pass coverage. So I mean, probably what's more likely is going to happen is JPP will play down, so it'll be like more of like a 4-3 hybrid, and then Shaq will go on a lot of blitzes, and they'll just run a lot of nickel. They also have for backups there rookie Chappelle Russell and Michael Divinity Jr. Decent depth, not too bad, not too good. Corners: Carlton Davis, Jamal Dean, Sean Bertie Murphy Bunting. My tongue wanted to fight me. Yeah, outside of that, that's about you got like 4 decent corners. Safeties: Mike Edwards, Justin Evans, with Antoine Winfield Jr. as their backup. If he can stay healthy, they'll have at least one good safety.
At least.
I mean, Justin Evans is on the PUP list, so he's slotted to start right now next to Mike Edwards. So as long as Mike Edwards can do good, they'll probably have a really good secondary with the corners they have, and the safeties could be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want them to win at all. I want Tom Brady to just die. Like, get hit, have a heart attack, and just die on the field.
You and I both know that that's not going to happen.
Unfortunately, yeah. I know that's not going to happen.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm just going to hop on ESPN.
About Tom Brady's team.
Yeah, I don't want to drag myself through that again. I don't want to compliment his team at all. I have no ill will against...
Moving on to Jameis Winston.
Oh, yeah. Woo, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston will be throwing to Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Traquan Smith, Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Say that as if Drew Brees died.
We're getting there. I mean, he missed 5 games last year because Aaron Donald happened.
Yeah. But will Aaron Donald happen again?
Yeah, I don't know. Face him? I don't think so. I think they faced a division and then they didn't.
So he won't have to deal with that anymore.
So, in your opinion, is this the best wide receiver core in the division over Atlanta? I think so. They have more depth.
I think so. I like their top 3 in Thomas, Sanders, and Smith. And then they also have the man, the myth, the legend, Tyson Hill, who will do anything you want him to do.
That's fair. I forgot he existed. So
they even have him listed as wide receiver on ESPN. They don't even have him as, he's on quarterback too. He's backup wide receiver.
Is he in running back as well?
No, he's not. They stop at Dwayne Washington as their 4th.
Okay. Tight ends: Jared Cook, Josh Hill, and Adam Trautman. Adam Trautman is, people keep saying he's even next George Kittle. So if the Saints can get a George Kittle type player on their team, the Saints are winning the Super Bowl.
They're just unbeatable.
Teron Armstead, Andreas Pete, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Ryan Ramczyk. Definitely the best O-line in the division. I think this is overall the best team in the division, easily.
Okay.
Kamara, Latavius Murray, Ty Montgomery, Dwayne Washington, and Tony Jones Jr. are the running backs. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Jameis Winston at quarterback.
It sounds like it. Le'Veon Bell says he's good to go. So it depends how much you want it. After last year, I'm not sure anyone believes.
What's wrong with you? Are you okay?
I can hear some woman talking about Le'Veon Bell.
What?
Yes, I keep
Nothing's playing.
I think
What do you mean?
I'm hearing voices in my head.
You are, because
the Jets are haunting me. The Le'Veon Bell Jets are haunting me. But the Drew Brees, Taysom Hill, and Jameis Winston are quarterbacks with Tommy Stevens. Who? Quarterback from Mississippi State. He's a rookie.
ESPN said, "Fuck that guy," because he's not even on here.
I think it's the best offense overall in the division.
Overall, yes.
Falcons are probably second. No,
they still have a top. because they have a top 5 running back in Kamara, and then they have a top 5 wide receiver in Thomas, which
and
not the other teams can say they have top 5 in both.
That's fair. And they have the number 1 offensive line, Hall of Fame quarterback. Pretty good. Yeah.
Top 5 quarterback, top 10 tight end.
Do you think Jared Cook's a top 10 tight end?
Potentially. I think potentially.
Okay. Moving on to the defense.
If he has a good season, I feel like he could be seen as one.
Okay. Moving on to the defense, because I don't want to dignify that hot take as a response. Cameron Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, David Onyemata, and Marcus Davenport are D linemen. Marcus Davenport needs to step up because they traded 2 first-round picks for that man, and if he doesn't step up, I don't think that group is going to... Like, right now, with his potential, I'm going to say that group is pretty good, but because of him not having the best seasons past couple of years, like not living up to his 16th overall potential, if he doesn't, it's not as good. But it's probably, like, second best behind, like, Carolina. Linebackers, Alex Anzalone, Kiko Alonso, Demario Davis, Zach Bond, Nigel Bradham. They got some linebackers. I like their linebackers a lot.
Mm-hmm. I like them.
Kiko's hurt right now.
I was about to say, they have Kiko. That guy.
Yeah, that one guy we traded straight up for LaShawn McCoy in his prime. That worked out. Janoris Jenkins and Marshall Lattimore are starting corners with Patrick Robinson and PJ Williams, as long as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson playing like the big nickel role. Marcus Williams and Malcolm Jenkins with DJ Swearinger are your top safeties. So that's if I was to rank the division, it'd go Saints at 1, Bucs at 2, Panthers at 3, Falcons at 4.
I agree.
I think Panthers are going to be bad, but not terrible. I think they'll be like 6-10. Like Falcons be like 5-11, something like that. All right, moving on to NFC West now. With the last in that division was the Cardinals. They picked 7th overall, I think. Yeah. Yes. Wait, no. 8th overall. 8th overall. They took Isaiah Simmons.
Yep.
Okay, so this is your pick for dark horse MVP candidate here with
I want them to be good so bad.
They're at least a year away. I'd say they're at least a year away.
I could see a year away. Yeah.
Larry
Fitzgerald stays alive for that long. So.
Yeah, wide receivers, we got Fitz, DeAndre Hopkins. Who the hell's that? Never heard of him.
His teammates don't know him because he's been absent from practice 3 times in a row.
Oh, shoot. Okay, wow. Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, Keyshawn Johnson, Hakeem Butler. That is stacked wide receiver core. I wouldn't hate to be the head coach who had to make cuts for that wide receiver core.
Yeah, that's as good of a wide receiver core as you're going to get.
Yeah, I'd say it's top 5 NFL. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just because DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, also you have Larry Fitzgerald, who has more tackles than he has drops in his career. Then we go to offensive line, which is, it's all right. It's not enthusiastic. It's not like
leave some to be desired.
Yeah. Good phrase. We have DJ Humphries, Justin Pugh, Mason Cole, J.R. Sweezy, and rookie Josh Jones. I'm a big fan of Josh Jones. DJ Humphries is a different story. Calvin Beachum, backup. I'm not in love with their offensive line. I think they definitely need to put... Next year needs to be an offensive line and defense kind of off season. They have the offensive firepower. They need to build in the trenches and build a defensive line. Tight ends are Max Williams. They have Darnell Daniels, Dan Arnold, and Dylan Cantrell and Ryan Becker, but I don't know who any of those people are. I know who Max Williams is.
Well, they have Dan Arnold as a second string. I wonder if I can look up Dan Arnold highlights. If I can't, that's going to be really bad.
Well, I mean, it's they're going to be running like a spread air raid offense. They're not really using 2 tight end sets all that much.
True. Kyler Murray slings it to Dan Arnold for the TD. For the TD.
Okay, running backs.
Santa.
Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, Eno Benjamin. Those are definitely a good core. They're not like elite or anything, but I mean they're good for what you got. I would take them in fantasy just because people are gonna be so focused on stopping the pass from your most famous midget in the world, Kyler Murray. That the running backs will get freed up. But yeah, also Brett Hundley is their backup. Definitely like me some Brett Hundley. I don't know why he's ever gotten really like a shot at a starting position. Well, I mean he kind of did when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, but
yeah.
I mean I don't like how the Packers handle him. Defense.
It's the Packers though, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's fair. Defense: Zach Allen, Jordan Phillips, Corey Peterson, and Isaiah. Just those 3. Zach Allen, Jordan Phillips, Corey Peterson at D line with Lakai.
Jordan Phillips.
You can keep your Jordan Phillips boner down and let me finish out the depth. Lakai Fotu, Rashad Lawrence, and Adam Schuler as your notable depth pieces. Now go ahead, blow.
Jordan Phillips, yes, my boy. I don't think he's gonna do as good in this system because our system really just like.
He's a nose tackle in the system. In our system, he was a 3-tech gap shooter. Now he's gonna have to do. It's kind of like how Ed Oliver was a nose tackle in college, and then we moved him to a 3-tech in our system.
Yeah. It's
the reverse. They took him out of position and put him thinking he was just like a universal. He's making. I like Jordan Phillips in our system. I don't think he's a $10 million per year player in our system, let alone as a nose tackle. I think Lakai Fotu is a better nose tackle than Jordan Phillips is. I'd rather have Jordan Phillips at like the right DN position in place of Corey Peters. So I mean, if they just, I don't know. This isn't this isn't an official depth chart, so that could be how they're playing it. Because like Lakai Fotu is like a star kind of player where he just eats up space, and then in the 3-4 they run, Jordan Phillips could be more of that. I mean, he'd like it's like a nose tackle but against an offensive tackle. But I mean, since he's bigger and stronger, he could probably do that. Linebackers. Okay, this is where they're amazing. Is linebacker because they have Isaiah Simmons, Chandler Jones, one of my favorite players in the entire league, and he's criminally underrated. And then Devondre Campbell and Jordan Hicks and Evan Weaver as backup. Hassan Reddick as backup. I'm a big fan of the linebacker group. They're
a really good linebacker group.
I really like their linebackers. I wish the Bills had a couple of those. I wish we had Isaiah Simmons, Chandler Jones, Jordan Hicks, Evan Weaver, Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, you wish we had all them.
I wish we had all of them.
You'd trade all that for
No, I mean like one of them. Okay, I want Chandler Jones as a DN.
One of them. Would you trade Chandler Jones for Jermaine Edmonds?
Yes, all day, every day. Even though Chandler Jones is like 30 or like 31, he gets 20 sacks a year. He's averaged 20 sacks the past 3 seasons. Yeah. That's definitely more important than a middle linebacker. I'm sorry, Jermaine Edmonds. But really like the linebackers. I like their secondary too. They have Patrick Peterson and Byron Murphy as their starting corners, with Robert Alford as a backup corner.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, but safeties have Jalen Thompson, Budda Baker, and Isaiah Simmons again.
He's back.
He's back. He can literally play everywhere.
He's the Tyson Hill of the defense.
Yeah, literally. But their kicker is Zane Gonzalez, so special teams does get a little knock. But their defense is good, not great. If they can get like another linebacker, like a middle linebacker, and like another like D lineman that can fit into the system, next year is their year. Not this upcoming season, the season after. I would put money on them winning the division.
Now, if they fumble the offseason,
then yeah, it's
over.
They didn't do it this year. They did good this year. They got freaking DeAndre Hopkins, so I mean, they should be fine. Next up is the LA Rams. Went from Super Bowl champions, or Super Bowl, not champions, but Super Bowl participants, to what was their record last year? Like 8-8. 9-7, something like that.
Record was 9-7.
9-7. Yeah, I mean, they would have got the playoffs in the AFC consolation prize. They probably would have got in this new system, but I mean,
Because they would have been the same record as the Titans, and the Titans made it in.
Yeah. Wide receivers: Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds, Tristan Jackson, Van Jefferson. They have 5 rookie wide receivers: Van Jefferson, Tristan Jackson, Ernest Edwards V, J.J. Koski, and Eosop Winston Jr. They're not the best in the division because the Cardinals are, but they are pretty good at wide receiver, I'd say. So yeah. Cooper Kupp's definitely a bona fide number 1. Robert Woods, I wish we would have kept him. And Josh Reynolds and Van Jefferson are going to fight for some slot duties. Van Jefferson was definitely better than a third-round pick, and he got drafted in the 3rd round. So they're pretty set at receiver, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Old man Andrew Whitworth with no backup behind him at left tackle. Austin Corbett, Brian Allen, Austin Blythe, and Rob Havenstein going from left guard to right tackle. Bobby Evans is their backup right tackle. David Edwards from Wisconsin is their backup right guard. I mean, it's good depth, but it's not anything like too special.
Yeah.
What is special is the tight ends. Higbee and Everett are really good, and they drafted Bryson Hopkins. So I like their tight ends a lot, especially PFF sucks their tight ends off all the time.
But that is PFF, so I mean,
yeah, I think like Tyler Higbee's like their highest rated, or like they're like something. Tyler Higbee's like one of their highest rated random stat thing for tight ends. I don't remember
number of times he ate a cheeseburger without cheese on it on the 5-yard line in his son's backyard. Those kind of stats, those kind of PFF stats.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I can't remember exactly, but it was something actually good. But yeah, that's usually the quality of their stats. I think so. Talking about something that's not actually really that good, Jared Goff.
Oh.
Okay, but we'll come back to that. Running backs: Malcolm Brown, Darnell Henderson, Cam Akers I have my money on to be the starter. John Kelly and Xavier Jones. But yeah, Cam Akers.
No Todd Gurley, but they could surprise me.
Yeah, I think Cam Akers could come in and do just as well as not as well as Todd Gurley, who got literal MVP votes. But I mean, he won't make them miss Todd Gurley, is what I'm saying, especially this past season. Jared Goff. I'm not a fan. He is strictly a system quarterback.
There's still people that put him at top 10.
No, he's strictly a system quarterback in my eyes. He sucked with Jeff Fisher, but that's Jeff Fisher. I'm blanking on their head coach's name. What's his name? He's like 2 years old. He's like Sean McVay. He went to Sean McVay's system, and all of a sudden he's a Pro Bowl wide quarterback, Super Bowl quarterback. And then they score 3 points in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. But their other options are Bryce Perkins and John Wolford and Josh Love. So, I mean, go with what you got. What's your opinion on Senior Goff there?
I don't see him as low as you do, but I'm not high on him.
I'm not. He's like an average quarterback. I like in the division, he's the worst quarterback. And I'm not the biggest fan of Jimmy Garoppolo either, but I'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
So, I mean, he's average, if not slightly below average, in my opinion. All right, defense. Woo! Michael Brockers, Ashawn Robinson, Aaron Donald,
the only one that matters. Sorry,
Sebastian Joseph Day, Greg Gaines, Eric Banks, Jonah Williams. Quick little hot take, even though not hot takes. Aaron Donald, I believe, will be one of the, if not the best defensive player of all time. So, you got that going for you.
Of all time?
He has 2 defensive MVPs right now, and he could realistically win another 1 or 2. And no one's won more than 2 in their career.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he won them 2 back-to-back. Or, I don't know. Quick Google search. But, give me... You go ahead.
It's just I guess it's just too early to see in my eyes, but I can see it. But I don't think that's completely like not reasonable to think.
I mean, he's not a valuable position. D tackle is not as valuable as edge rusher. So I mean, like Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith, kind of player,
Right.
is more valuable. So like you can make that argument, but I don't
Right.
think. I think people underestimate how good he is, and how good he's going to be for like another 5-6 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 20 sacks alone, but, coming up the middle, especially when you face pocket quarterbacks like Tom Brady and stuff like that, I think he is criminally... He's not even underrated. He's not... He shouldn't be. People hype him up, but he's still underrated, in my opinion, because he's that good. And I'm a big Aaron Donald fan. Linebackers, Samson Abukum, Justin Lawler, Micah Kaiser, Leonard Floyd, Agbani Okoronkwo, Ja'Kai Polite, remember him when he had a blink and you'll miss it time with the Jets. Their linebackers don't excite me, but they're not bad. They're middle of the road. They're okay.
Yeah.
Corners, Troy Hill, Jalen Ramsey, Dave Long, Kenny Young, Troy Reader. Safeties, Taylor Rapp, John Johnson. I like their safeties. Jordan Fuller and Terrell Burgess. Their safeties are good. The corners are pretty good. They're top, if not top heavy. Their depth isn't that fantastic, but their defense as a whole is really just the Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey show. Josh Johnson's a good safety, but safety is, in my opinion, the least important position in sports right now, or in NFL right now. So I mean, you don't trade 2 first-round picks for one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a shot.
A shot at Seattle, who we're getting to next, because we're all finished up with the Rams. Rams, I think, are the worst team in the division. Sorry, Rams fans. The Cardinals are definitely better. Yeah.
100%.
Talking about spending 2 first-round picks on a safety, though. What? Why? Seattle, can I just sit you down? I'm gonna have to talk to my Seattle friend later. Our Seattle fan friend. God, we have another one of these to film.
Just quit.
Just quit life. Just quit existence.
Exactly.
But no, why? I would have given up a first-round pick and a player for Jamal Adams, but not 2 firsts.
And the player.
Okay, we'll get to him. We'll get to him and the player, but we'll get to him. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Philip Dorsett, Aaron Fuller are their wide receivers of note. They have wide receivers, and Russell Wilson makes anyone look good.
I always said that there were only as soon as DK got drafted, because a lot of people were like, why didn't we draft him? I'm like, there were only a select couple teams, in my opinion, that DK would do good under. And then, in my opinion, Seattle was one of those teams where it was just like, if he got drafted them, I could see him doing good with them.
Yeah, but I could see him working with the Bills system, too. He's just a big guy who can run straight forward. Just go run forward, and Josh Allen's going to throw it somewhere in your vicinity, probably a little overthrow. You're tall enough, go get it. Am I wrong?
I mean, say it was last year. Josh Allen's not getting it to him.
That's fair. Offensive line, Dwayne Brown, Ethan Pochik, B.J. Finney, Phil Haynes, Cedric Ogbuehi, Mike Upitati, Damian Lewis, Brandon Shell, just trash. Just Dwayne Brown and a bunch of trash. I don't like their. It's literally Russell Wilson bailing his team out every year because their offensive line is garbage. They can't draft him. They can't sign him. But lucky for him, he's got some good tight ends. He's got 4 good tight ends. He has Greg Olsen, Will Dissly, Luke Wilson, and Kobe Parkinson, and Jacob Hollister. He has 5 decent tight ends.
At the line.
Yeah, just have them block. His weapons, and so Russell Wilson, obviously, with Geno Smith as his backup, with Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde, Rashad Penny, DJ Dallas as his running backs. They have weapons. And probably not better than Arizona weapons, but they have weapons. And they have my vote for MVP next year. But, I mean, well, okay, no, my vote as in realistically, if I'm not going Drew Lock, it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think Russell Wilson just deserves it for just having to run around for years.
Yeah. Their offensive line is absolute garbage. And I really, really hope they invest in it next year because I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. But Russell's going to do a MVP caliber performance in a way so that he deserves it. But the line, if the line can play any kind of good, they'll win the division. But I don't trust their offensive line against San Francisco's defensive line.
Yeah.
Speaking of defensive lines, L.J. Collier, who I already think is a draft bust at this point, Jerron Reed, Poona Ford, Bruce Irvin, DeMarcus Christmas, Alton Robinson, Darrell Taylor. He's a good pass rusher. I did a prospect profile on him back when I was doing it for this past draft. Their D-line has some good young parts that just need to develop. If outside of that, their D tackles are okay, but their edge rushers need to develop for them to be good. And they need Jadeveon Clowney back.
I mean, unfortunately, they're not really banking on development all too much.
They need proven now. They need good players now.
Yes.
And Bruce Irvin and LG Collier isn't going to be your best chance right now. Linebackers, extreme overdraft reach for Jordan Brooks at strong side linebacker. Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Ben Burke-Irvin, Shaquem Griffin. Their linebackers are good, their depth, but I'm just still mad they drafted Jordan Brooks with the 24th overall pick. I was going to punch someone. That was, or 20-something overall pick. That was really, really, really stupid. I didn't like it. He's a run-defending linebacker. So he plays strong side, okay. He can't defend the pass. And you're in the NFC. I guess it's good against the 49ers, but when you face the Cardinals,
yeah.
I mean, you have Bobby Wagner, but you don't draft him.
Is it going to be the Bobby Wagner show against that receiving core?
They could have took Patrick Queen. And
even against the Rams receiving core.
Right. It's going to help against the 49ers, but I don't think you draft a 2-down linebacker in the first round. I don't know. Secondary, Shaquille Griffin with Trey Flowers, Quandre Diggs, Quentin Dunbar as their corners. That's pretty good. I like that corner group. Marquise Blair, Trey Flowers, I said. Marquise Blair, and then Jamal Adams. They should have just had Jamal Adams play linebacker and then drafted a safety or something if they were going to do that. He's a good player. He can play everywhere on the field. He's a leader of defense, but you already have Bobby Wagner. You don't need a leader of defense. Why did you... Is a safety really going to put you over top? You lost Earl Thomas, so you're replacing Jamal Adams. Is that really what was keeping you from winning a Super Bowl? Not your offensive line. You don't trade 2 picks for an offensive lineman. You don't trade for Joe Thuney. You trade for Jamal Adams. Fantastic. It's not going to be Legion Boom 2. It's going to be... I can't. What's your opinion on the secondary? I can't with Jamal Adams. I hated that trade. Jets fully still.
I don't hate it as much as you do, but I'm not necessarily a fan of it. I mean, I do feel like Jamal Adams is going to help that defense, but I mean,
he's going to help them.
Is it gonna really they're really trying to win now, but is that the best move to win now?
Right.
I don't know if that's necessarily
Actually,
the case.
the Jets didn't fleece him because it's stupid on both sides. Because, yes, Jamal Adams is going to help that defense. So they're going to be good, which means it's going to be high 20s picks both years. So the Seahawks aren't going to win anything, and the Jets are going to get late first-rounders, might as well be second-rounders.
I mean, it's still first-rounders now.
Yeah, but the Jets drafting, you trust the Jets drafting?
And, I mean, trade value, too, if they want to trade it for something.
Yeah, I
they want to trade to get Jamal back.
Trade the exact same package.
Like, hey, thanks for letting us borrow him a year. You can have him back.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Let's go talk about the for our last team of this episode, the Super Bowl losers, because no one remembers second place. Yeah. The 49ers depth chart. I hate this team too. I hate them.
I just hate this division. Jesus Christ.
I like the Seahawks, kinda. I hated that trade. I like the Cardinals. Cardinals are the only team I can really say I like unconditionally. There's no ifs about the Cardinals. I just like the Cardinals. The other teams, yeah. The receivers are pretty good. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen Hurd, Kendrick Bourne, Richie James, Dante Pettis, Trent Taylor, Juwan Jennings, J.J. Nelson. I'm pretty sure someone's hurt. I don't remember who. I think Deebo's hurt, which is why I brought J.J. Nelson in. But they got a pretty good wide receiver core.
Deebo was hurt.
Yeah. They traded for Trent Williams let's go tight ends first. George Kittle, Jordan Reed. If Jordan Reed can stay healthy, they only need 2 wide receivers because they're going to run two tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and kill people.
Perfect. I mean, when you have Kittle,
right.
It's perfect.
Kittle, best tight end in the league. I know we had this argument
Yes.
before. Okay, yeah. Because I remember it was like our first ever episode. We had a conversation if Kittle was best tight end in the league.
And he is.
They traded for Trent Williams, so great. Now they have an all-pro left tackle. Laken Tomlinson, Weston Richburg, who's hurt at center, Tom Compton, Mike McGlinchey. Their tackles and their left guard, I like. Left center, right guard are iffy for me. I'm not over the moon for them. Let's just say that.
I mean, but George Kittle also finds enjoyment in just manhandling people as far as blocking goes.
That's fair.
So
yeah, that's fair. Just run behind him. Just go run to that left side behind George Kittle and just have him
you'll be set.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman, Jerick McKinnon, and JaMychal Hasty, as well as Selvin Ahmad. And you have to mention Kyle Juszczyk at fullback. Just as a bunch. They have a lot of running back depth. Like a lot of running back depth.
Even though his whole situation was stupid, I still am really high on Raheem Mostert. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, I like him a lot as well. So, yeah, and then we go to Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard. I like their quarterback room because they have 2 really good backups, but I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo. I just don't.
Yeah.
What is your overarching opinion on him? Let's say.
I don't dislike him. I feel like he does enough to get the job done.
Like throwing 9 completions in the NFC Championship, or throwing 9 passes in the NFC Championship game.
I mean, that's all I needed, really.
That's fair.
I mean, I especially with the team around him, I just want more from a quarterback.
I think he needs to take next step to win a Super Bowl. They need him to take next step.
He needs to call up Tom Brady and just be like, "Hey, make me better."
Yes, I tried to take sorry about the whole trying to take your job thing, but now you're on New England. Hey, you want to share some tips?
Sorry, Bill wanted to trade you away, and then Kraft said no.
Right.
So we traded you away instead.
Right. So no hard feelings?
Nah.
Defense, which is their claim to fame. Eric Armstead, Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, Nick Bosa, D. Ford, DJ Jones, Deion Jordan. They're pretty good. They're pretty good at D-line.
Yeah.
That's why I like Seattle more as a team overall I like Seattle because of Russell Wilson. I think that's why he makes them better than the 49ers. But their defensive line might counteract that and just kill them.
Imagine Russell Wilson on the 49ers.
Oh, God. That's a Super Bowl team. I'd take them for the Super Bowl. D. Ford is a backup, and he was like a premier pass rusher on KC. So I don't know what the hell happened there. But linebackers, Quan Alexander, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw. Everyone's really high on them. Quan Alexander misses a lot of tackles, in my opinion, and Dre Greenlaw is all right. I like Fred Warner. Prove me wrong, basically. I like them, and I want them to prove me wrong. but I just have my doubts. Secondary, Richard Sherman, Jaquiski Tart, Jimmy Ward, Akilla Witherspoon, and Kawan Williams at nickelback. Those are like the starters it's telling me right now. They also have Jason Verrett as the backup corner and Dante Johnson. So, I mean, they're all right. I think secondary is probably the weakest point.
Right.
But I still, if I was to rank the division, I think it would go... if they don't hit a slump, I think the 49ers can win the division again. But it'll be like a back and forth with the Seahawks. It'll be one game apart. So 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams. Cardinals will be like 8-8, I think. I think they go 8-8 this year, and then they'll get better, like a 10-win team next year.
I'll bet 9-7, but I agree.
All right. And Russ for MVP, obviously. Definitely NFC MVP, because AFC MVP is definitely Drew Lock. We'll get to that. We'll get to that next week's episode. But yeah, for now, that's it for this episode. That's our NFC South and West breakdowns. Next week, we're going to be doing the AFC North, West, and South. So we're going to be cramming all 12 of those teams into one episode, so we have time to do our special guest AFC East episode. So stay tuned for that. And any closing remarks, Christian?
Stay classy.
Stay classy. Don't be too rowdy in college. I don't get to see you anymore. I don't get to control every move you do.
Didn't do that anyway.
Shh. Let me dream. Let me dream.
All I've done is play Minecraft. So I think I've had a good college experience.
All I've done back home is played Minecraft too. So I mean.
Okay. I've done that, and I went to there's a court next to my dorm, which is kind of cool, like a basketball court.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I went there once today. And my first shot, I slammed a 3. It was ridiculous.
Oh, so we got an athlete here.
That automatically means
Mr.
basketball.
James Harden playing rugby and swimming.
Because James Harden played rugby and swimming.
No, but you drilled a 3, so you're James Harden. All right, we're bye audience.